All right, before we bring the mood up, because I think I've got good news, but it comes with a price tag. And it's going to be an uncompromising opinion from both myself and verified from our hockey consigliere, Mr. Kenny Cott. I want to know, as we apparently road tested something with the headline segment, David, the initial feedback. That is one of the most depressing segments I've ever partaken in.
This segment has been absolutely hilarious. Love it. Someone else says, please, fellas, this segment makes me want to drink in depression after this.
No.
Oh, my gosh. I literally had to pull over on the expressway because I was covering my face with my hands out of pure embarrassment for that segment.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know. David, I'll let you sort through it. I always like, we try stuff. Not everything's a home run. I was just kind of like, we might need to alter the types of headlines.
Yeah, after hearing those headlines, I feel better about myself. They make Roberto sound like the father of the year from Ryan.
Come on, man.
Love you guys. That was an absolute great segment there, as John and Marilyn.
All right, look, there might be hope for it. Let's tinker.
We can tweak it.
I think we need to add some production value. Fine doing it again, but maybe less death. All right, let's maybe just a little less death. Now,
well, the guy who faked his own death, does that count?
Yes, because he's horrific. All right, DeBrincat. Now, clearly, unless you live under a rock and you never listen to the show, there's been the idea of an Alex DeBrincat, a first-line winger who is capable of scoring 40 goals. Not just capable, but has done it. Done it twice. A guy who in a down year scored 27. Playing for Ottawa, way less talent there, didn't want to be there. My point is, it's never been about DeBrincat or bust. It's been about the idea of an Alex DeBrincat, a first-line player that if Yzerman didn't bring home a first-line impact guy in a year where they had 5 picks in rounds 1 and 2, where they were $8 million under the salary cap floor in year 5 of a rebuild, that was not acceptable to people like us. Now, some of you that we refer to as Yzerbots, everything's acceptable. Steve Yzerman could sign bleep in a box, and you'd be like, I'm telling you, good agility, good agility. My point is, now the DeBrincat thing feels like it's hit another gear. Because Elliot Friedman today, yesterday it's down to the Islanders and the Red Wings.
Right.
Lamoriello, Yzerman. Today, there was a different flavor. And it is, well, straight up,
DeBrincat took Amarillo to the train station?
He dumped Lamoriello's body in Wyoming because apparently DeBrincat and sources, he wants you. He wants to be a Red Wing. Obviously, a Farmington Hills product, but he wants to be here. Now, some of you will say, Mike, you're overstating the importance of that. No, I'm not. Because where I think we would be irresponsible, and I haven't done this, is this idea of, well, I don't want DeBrincat. He's only 5'7", 5'8". Just go get Nylander. Well, one problem. He may refuse to come here. When is the last time any major free agent in any sport not named the NFL? Because the NFL guys will play in Moscow for the right money. Right. They go to Green Bay, for Christ's sake. They go to Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah, Golden Tate came here.
Right. Big free agent in the NHL, NBA, MLB. The point I make to you is this. The fact that DeBrincat wants to be here has now elevated this from, I want him, I hope we get him, we need him, to anything but getting him is a total failure. Because right now, from the way Elliot Friedman is talking, they're at the 1-yard line. And this comes down to simply term money. Yzerman hasn't wanted to go long-term, both in the way he builds teams, and there might be some doubts about DeBrincat. Well, here's my problem. And this is not a shot at Compher, but you signed a 28-year-old who's never going to score 20 goals to never play on your first line, a 5-year term. You're going to pay him until he's 33 years old. So why would you have a problem paying a 25-year-old with 2 40-goal seasons in his back pocket? And even if he comes here, never scores 40, but consistently scores 30?
Yeah.
How's that bad again?
Helps out Larkin. Yeah.
You're reinvesting in Dylan Larkin. You're reinvesting in Lucas Raymond. You are creating a fringy top 10 line in this league. So all I'm saying is, now with the reports that DeBrincat wants you, he wants to wear the winged wheel.
Well, the fact that he wants to come to Detroit, because, Mike, the only time people want to come to Detroit is when Detroit is winning, when they're up for a cup or NBA championship or a World Series. Then you see people say, I'll go there. But right now, the fact that he wants to come here.
Right, because here's what I'm going to say.
You got to get this done.
All the Steve bots who've been knocking DeBrincat, let me ask you a question. If you don't want DeBrincat, do you have evidence of any other potential trade target that you know or even hypothetically imagine want to be here? Let me help you. See, Kenny could throw out a million names. But Kenny doesn't do it in a stupid manner because he always also will say, I don't know if that guy wants to sign here. I don't know if he'd be willing. So we can have fantasies about, well, why don't we call Toronto, get Nylander? He's 5 inches taller. He's bigger. The idea that he would actually play here, I don't think so. This kid wants to be here. He is 25. So this is an opinion elevation update. This is now DeBrincat or bust. If you don't get this deal done, that's a failure by Yzerman. Because how many guys is Yzerman going to try to trade for that openly and the representation are openly saying, we don't want B, C, D, and F. We want Detroit. Don't you have to capitalize?
And see, that's what bothers me is because everything is set up, and for some reason, this has not gotten done
It's
yet.
going to happen.
Okay. Because that's what I said yesterday. It's almost to the point, if Yzerman doesn't do this, it looks as if you lost. You failed.
Correct.
You couldn't deliver the big fish.
Guess what? That's an elite, non-hockey guy, bold take. That's what we're doing. I'm not telling you I'm Elliot Friedman. I'm not Pierre LeBrun. But I'm a capable sports fan who can tell you that if a player wants to come to an undesirable market, you get a hometown angle. He fits exactly what you need. Please don't tell me, well, you know what? I want Todd Bertuzzi in his prime. That's lovely. Not available. Okay? It's just that's not how the game works. Kenny, talk to me. Now, before show, you agreed with this take.
Yeah,
I want to know are you riding in the sidecar of the motorcycle?
Yeah, I'm in the sidecar. I still agree with this take, with the caveat that a Nylander wouldn't want to come here. Because if it's as simple as, hey, let's trade for Nylander and he signs here, and that's the end of it,
no doubt.
No problem.
No doubt.
Zero
but until
problem.
or unless I see a single report saying the Wings are in on him, saying that the Wings are making an offer, saying that Nylander doesn't have you on some weird, wacky NHL movement list.
The only report that I've seen of any sort that involves the Red Wings and Nylander is teams that should be interested in Nylander.
And again,
that does nothing for me.
You could write that article in bed.
Right. No, that does nothing for me.
Here's players the Pistons should be interested in. Not Joe Harris.
But the reason I bring it up is because there are now reports that they're at the finish line with this deal. They're taking the last step.
It's a failure if you don't get it done. True or false?
I agree.
All right.
I'm on board.
And I know we're going to get attacked. I know it. I feel it.
No. See, I think the Steve bot has silently just waited to see what happened because no matter what, Yzerman did the right thing.
It's the right move.
Right.
So here's the deal. I need the hockey elite. Sound the Matterhorn. Right here, right now, DeBrincat wants you. He's killing Ottawa's leverage. He wants you. You want him. You're at the 1 yard line. This is happening. We're getting a 40-goal scorer. We're going to get a guy who's going to have a big bounce back here, and we're going to play meaningful games in the month of April. That's the goal. I think getting DeBrincat here solidifies everything Yzerman did. Look, all that foundational work when you sign a defensive defenseman, or we're filling a left-handed or right-handed shot need, or, hey, I need a backup goalie.
I said backup goalie.
Hey, I need a second-line center so I can reassign Kopp to a different spot. Wonderful. It's all boring. I don't care. But when you go and get the first-line piece, the rest of it makes sense. You go to A+ offseason. And I think we all can begin this season. If you get DeBrincat, we're all going. It's playoff time. It's time to make the playoffs.
And I think, unfortunately, because this is drawn out so long, we've all become so invested that the letdown, if he ends up becoming an Islander or anything else, or he just stays an Ottawa, it's like, well, what the heck were you doing?
Well, that's what I love.
That's where I think
I love it
build up has you got to deliver.
But I love it when GMs are put at the altar. Like, I hate it when they just get to sit and just not be put to the test. This is why you hire a Steve Yzerman, right? To get this done. No, I don't imagine they're going to do something stupid with a $10 million a year deal. DeBrincat wants like 8.5. Christ, here, you want to do over under 8.49 AAV? I'll bet you Yzerman gets him a little cheaper. If he wants to play here and he doesn't want to go to Long Island and there's no other market out there willing to go to that term, then yes, I'll be the irresponsible non-hockey idiot telling you, I don't care that you want him at 5 years and he wants 8. You go to 6 or 7 and you get it done because he's 25. There's really no evidence in the NHL that guys in their early 30s can't play. Sorry, there's not. It's not football. It's not even the NBA where I get nervous like, oh, Dame's 32. Do I want him at 33 or 34? Hockey's different, man. This kid's 25. We've reached must get. Don't come home if you don't get him face.
So we've hit the critical mass. Gotcha.
Yes. Hockey Elite. Boop, boop. Matterhorn. 248-539-9790. I'm not hockey elite.
I'm not even Kenny Kate, but
Mr. Kater.